The doctor's whisper still haunts me. Don't go home tonight. Your life depends on it. But what I discovered that night shattered everything I believed. I walked into the hospital that afternoon, thinking it was just another routine checkup. The sterile smell, the quiet footsteps, the soft murmur of nurses, it all felt normal. But then the doctor pulled me aside, his face pale, his eyes darting nervously like he was hiding a terrible secret. He leaned in close and whispered, "You need to leave. Don't go home tonight. They're watching you." "Your life is in danger," I froze. My heart slammed against my chest. Who? Why? How? I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but all I could do was nod and walk out into a world that suddenly felt like a trap. That night, as darkness closed in, the truth came crashing down on me. Secrets buried deep, betrayals I never saw coming, and a fight for survival I never expected to face. I called my closest friend, Sarah, trembling as I explained everything. She didn't hesitate. "Come to my place. We'll figure this out together." I packed a small bag, grabbing only the essentials. The house I had called home for years suddenly felt like a prison. Every creak, every shadow seemed to whisper danger. At Sarah's, I felt a flicker of safety, but the fear lingered. Who wanted me gone? What had I stumbled into? The next day, I began piecing together clues. Strange phone calls I had ignored, unfamiliar faces near my home, and a growing sense of unease I could no longer dismiss. I remembered the argument with my husband weeks ago about money, trust, and secrets. Could it be connected? Was someone trying to silence me? Determined to uncover the truth, I hired Rachel, a private investigator known for her discretion and tenacity. Rachel's investigation revealed a web of lies and betrayal. People I trusted were not who they seemed. Secrets hidden beneath the surface threatened to destroy everything I held dear. One night, Rachel called with urgent news. "They're watching your every move. You need to be careful." Fear gripped me, but I refused to back down. I was fighting for my life, for my family, and for the truth. I changed my routines, avoided certain places, and kept my phone close at all times. Then, one evening, as I returned home from Sarah's, I noticed a shadow lurking near my front door. My heart raced as I hurried inside, locking every door and window. I knew the danger was real, but I also knew I was not alone. With the support of friends, family, and Rachel's relentless pursuit of justice, I faced the darkness head-on. The truth, when it finally came to light, was more shocking than I could have imagined, but it was also liberating, because sometimes the greatest battles we face are not against others, but against the secrets that threaten to consume us, and sometimes the greatest strength comes from the courage to escape, to fight, and to survive. The days that followed were a whirlwind of fear and determination. I was no longer the woman who could ignore the shadows lurking around her. Every step I took was cautious, every phone call a potential threat. But I refused to let fear control me. I was fighting for my life, for my family, and for the truth. Sarah became my anchor during those uncertain times. Her home was a sanctuary where I could breathe, think, and plan. We spent hours discussing every detail, every strange occurrence, trying to piece together the puzzle that had suddenly become my reality. Rachel, the private investigator, worked tirelessly. She uncovered a tangled web of deceit, betrayal, and danger. The man I had trusted most, my brother-in-law, was at the center of it all. His greed and desperation had led him down a dark path, one that threatened to destroy everything I held dear. One afternoon, Rachel handed me a folder thick with evidence. Bank statements showing suspicious transactions, emails revealing secret meetings, and photographs capturing moments I never should have seen. The betrayal cut deeper than I could have imagined. How could someone so close, someone I had welcomed into my life, turn against me so completely? But amidst the pain, I found a new strength. I was no longer a victim. I was a fighter. With Rachel's guidance, I began working with the authorities. The police were cautious but committed, understanding the gravity of the situation. They increased security around my home and advised me on how to stay safe. Meanwhile, I focused on healing. I returned to my passions, painting, writing, and nurturing my perfume business. These activities grounded me, reminding me of who I was beyond the chaos. At work, I launched a new fragrance inspired by resilience and renewal. The community embraced it warmly, and I found joy in knowing that my story could inspire others. My advocacy efforts expanded as well. I spoke at events, connected with support groups, and shared my journey to empower others facing similar struggles. One evening, as I prepared for a talk, I received a message from a woman named Emily. She shared how my story had given her the courage to confront her own family's secrets. Her words touched me deeply, reinforcing the power of shared experiences. As the investigation unfolded, tensions within the family grew. My brother-in-law's actions were exposed and the truth could no longer be hidden. The betrayal that had once seemed insurmountable was now a catalyst for justice. Through it all, Max and Clara stood by me. Their support was unwavering, a testament to the strength of family when built on honesty and love. Together, we faced the future with hope. The road ahead would have challenges, but we were ready. Because we had learned that love, when rooted in truth and respect, can heal even the deepest wounds. And with that love, we could build a future brighter than any past. The weeks that followed were a test of endurance and resilience. Every day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to rebuild what had been broken. The fear that once gripped me began to loosen its hold, replaced by a cautious hope that maybe, just maybe, we could reclaim our lives. Max and Clara became my pillars of strength. Max, who had once been distant, now took an active role in supporting me. Clara, too, showed a side of herself I hadn't seen before, a vulnerability mixed with determination. Together, we formed a united front against the shadows that threatened to consume us. One afternoon, as we sat in the garden, Clara shared her fears and hopes. "I never wanted to be the cause of pain," she said softly. "I want to be part of this family truly." Her words touched me deeply. I reached out and took her hand. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we learn and grow. We began to create new traditions, small rituals that brought us closer. Sunday dinners became sacred, a time when phones were put away and stories were shared. We laughed over old memories and dreamed aloud about the future. At work, I found renewed inspiration. The perfume company, which had been my refuge, blossomed with new energy. I launched a fragrance inspired by resilience and hope, dedicating it to those who had faced adversity and emerged stronger. My advocacy work expanded as well. I spoke at conferences, connected with support groups, and worked tirelessly to raise awareness about family betrayal and healing. Sharing my story became a mission, a way to empower others to find their own strength. One day, I received a letter from a woman named Layla. She shared how my story had inspired her to confront her own family's secrets and seek reconciliation. Her words moved me deeply, reminding me that our stories have the power to heal not only ourselves, but others as well. As the months passed, our family continued to grow and evolve. We celebrated milestones with joy and gratitude, cherishing the bonds we had rebuilt. The laughter that once seemed distant now filled our home, a testament to the power of forgiveness and love. I often thought about that voice message, the catalyst for this journey. It was no longer a symbol of pain and fear, but a reminder of resilience and hope. It hung in my heart as a testament to the strength we had found together. Looking ahead, I felt a profound sense of peace. Life would continue to bring challenges, but I was ready to face whatever came with courage, grace, and an open heart. Because I had learned that love, when rooted in honesty and respect, can heal even the deepest wounds. And with that love, we can build a future brighter than any past. The healing process was gradual, marked by moments of progress and setbacks. There were days when the weight of the past threatened to overwhelm me, but I found strength in the love and support of those around me. Max and Clara continued to be my anchors. Max, once hesitant, now embraced his role as a protector and advocate for our family. Clara's transformation was equally profound. She became more open, honest, and committed to rebuilding trust. Together, we faced the challenges head-on. We attended counseling sessions, both individually and as a family, learning to communicate with empathy and patience. The therapist helped us navigate the complex emotions that had long been buried beneath the surface. At work, I poured my heart into my perfume company. The business had always been a source of pride, but now it became a symbol of resilience and hope. I launched a new fragrance inspired by our journey, a scent that captured the essence of strength, renewal, and love. The community embraced the new collection, and I found joy in knowing that my story could inspire others. I began speaking at events, sharing my experiences to raise awareness about family betrayal and the power of healing. One day, I received a message from a woman named Emily. She shared how my story had given her the courage to confront her own family's secrets and seek reconciliation. Her words touched me deeply, reminding me that our stories have the power to heal not only ourselves, but others as well. As the months passed, our family grew stronger. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays with gratitude and joy. The laughter that once seemed distant now filled our home, a testament to the power of forgiveness and love. But healing is not linear. There were moments when old wounds reopened, when doubts crept in, and when the pain felt overwhelming. Yet each time, we chose to keep moving forward. One evening, as I sat by the fireplace, I reflected on the voice message that had changed everything. It was no longer a symbol of fear, but a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, light can be found. Looking ahead, I felt a profound sense of peace. Life would continue to bring challenges, but I was ready to face whatever came with courage, grace, and an open heart. Because I had learned that love, when rooted in honesty and respect, can heal even the deepest wounds, and with that love, we can build a future brighter than any past. The days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, I felt the weight of the past slowly lifting. The journey of healing was ongoing, but the progress we made gave me hope. Max, Clara, and I were learning to rebuild not just our family, but ourselves. Max took on a new role, not just as a son, but as a leader in our family's healing. He organized regular family dinners, encouraging open dialogue and shared experiences. These gatherings became a sanctuary where laughter returned and old wounds began to close. Clara, too, transformed. She embraced vulnerability, sharing her fears and hopes with honesty. Our relationship, once strained and distant, blossomed into a genuine friendship built on mutual respect and understanding. Together, we created new memories, vacations by the lake, quiet evenings by the fire, and simple moments of joy that filled the spaces once occupied by pain. At work, my perfume company flourished. The new fragrance line, inspired by our journey, resonated deeply with customers. Each bottle told a story of hope and renewal, connecting with people who had faced their own struggles. My advocacy efforts expanded as well. I spoke at conferences, led workshops, and connected with women who had experienced family betrayal. Sharing my story became a powerful tool for healing, not just for me, but for countless others. One day, I received a letter from a woman named Layla. She shared how my story had inspired her to confront her own family's secrets and seek reconciliation. Her words touched me deeply, reinforcing the belief that our stories have the power to heal and transform. As the years passed, our family continued to grow stronger. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays with gratitude and joy. The laughter that once seemed distant now filled our home, a sign of forgiveness and love. But healing is never linear. There were days when old wounds reopened, when doubts crept in, and when the pain felt overwhelming. Yet, each time, we chose to keep moving forward. One evening, as I sat by the fireplace, I reflected on the moment that started it all, the message, the discovery, the choice to fight for love and family. It was no longer a symbol of pain, but a beacon of hope. Looking forward, I felt a profound sense of peace. Life would continue to bring challenges, but I was ready to face whatever came with courage, grace, and an open heart. Because I had learned that love, when rooted in honesty and respect, can heal even the deepest wounds, and with that love, we can build a future brighter than any past. The healing process was a journey filled with both light and shadow. There were days when the past threatened to pull us back into old patterns of pain and mistrust. But there were also moments of profound connection and hope that reminded us why we chose to keep moving forward. One chilly winter evening, Claire and I sat by the fireplace, wrapped in blankets and sipping warm tea. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating a cozy sanctuary from the cold world outside. "I never thought we'd get here," Clara said softly, her voice tinged with both regret and hope. "I'm sorry for everything I put you through." I reached out and took her hand, feeling the sincerity in her touch. "We've both made mistakes, Clara, but what matters is that we're here now, trying to heal." Max joined us soon after, bringing with him a sense of calm and reassurance. The three of us talked late into the night, sharing stories, dreams, and plans for the future. It was a night of healing, a night that marked a new chapter in our family's story. As spring arrived, so did new opportunities. The perfume company, which had weathered many storms, blossomed with fresh energy. I launched a new fragrance inspired by resilience and renewal, dedicating it to all those who had faced hardship and emerged stronger. The community's response was overwhelming. Customers shared their own stories of struggle and hope, creating a tapestry of shared experience that connected us all. My advocacy work also took on new meaning. I partnered with local organizations to create workshops and support groups for families dealing with betrayal and reconciliation. Together, we built a network of strength and compassion. One day, I received a heartfelt letter from a woman named Amina. She wrote about her journey to forgive her estranged sister and how my story had given her courage to reach out. Her words moved me deeply, a reminder that healing is a gift we give ourselves and others. Our family continued to grow and evolve. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays with joy and gratitude. The laughter that once seemed distant now filled our home, a testament to the power of forgiveness and love. I often thought about the moment that started it all. The message, the discovery, the choice to fight for love and family. It was no longer a symbol of pain, but a beacon of hope. Looking ahead, I felt a profound sense of peace. Life would continue to bring challenges, but I was ready. Ready to face whatever came with courage, grace, and an open heart. Because I had learned that love, when rooted in honesty and respect, can heal even the deepest wounds, and with that love, we can build a future brighter than any past. The cold winter air bit at my cheeks as I stepped outside, the weight of the past months pressing heavily on my shoulders. The journey we had embarked on was far from over, but with every step, I felt a growing strength within me, a resilience forged in the fires of betrayal and tempered by hope. Max walked beside me, his presence a steady comfort. We didn't speak much, but the silence between us was filled with understanding. Clara joined us shortly after, her laughter breaking through the quiet like a ray of sunlight piercing the clouds. Together, we walked through the park, the crunch of leaves beneath our feet marking the passage of time and the slow healing of old wounds. We spoke of dreams, of vacations we would take, of holidays filled with warmth and laughter, of a future where the shadows of the past no longer held sway. Back at home, the atmosphere was lighter. The house, once heavy with tension, now echoed with the sounds of shared meals and quiet conversations. I found solace in the small moments, a cup of tea in the morning, the soft glow of the fireplace, the pages of a good book. Work became a refuge. The perfume company, my lifelong passion, flourished with new energy. I poured my heart into creating scents that told stories of strength and renewal. Each bottle was a testament to the journey we had taken, a symbol of hope bottled and shared with the world. My advocacy work grew alongside my business. I spoke at events, connected with support groups, and worked tirelessly to raise awareness about family betrayal and healing. Sharing my story became a mission, a way to empower others to find their own strength and reclaim their lives. One day, a letter arrived from a woman named Layla. She wrote of her own struggles with family secrets and how my story had given her the courage to seek reconciliation. Her words touched me deeply, a reminder that our stories have the power to heal not only ourselves, but others as well. As the years passed, our family continued to grow and evolve. We celebrated milestones with joy and gratitude, cherishing the bonds we had rebuilt. The laughter that once seemed distant now filled our home, a testament to the power of forgiveness and love. Yet I knew that healing was not a destination but a journey. There would be days when the past would call out, when doubts would creep in, and when the pain would resurface. But with each challenge, we grew stronger, more united. I often thought back to that fateful voice message, the catalyst for everything. It was no longer a symbol of fear, but a beacon of hope. It reminded me that even in the darkest moments, light can be found, and as I looked toward the future, I felt ready not just to face whatever came, but to embrace it fully, with courage, grace, and an open heart. Because the greatest strength lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Spring arrived gently, bringing with it a sense of renewal that seemed to seep into every corner of our lives. The cold, harsh days of winter gave way to warmer sunlight and blooming flowers, mirroring the gradual thawing of old wounds within our family. Max, Clara, and I found ourselves embracing this new season with cautious optimism. The past, with all its pain and betrayal, was still a part of us, but it no longer defined our every moment. Instead, it served as a reminder of how far we had come and the strength we had discovered along the way. One afternoon, we decided to take a trip to the countryside, a place where the air was fresh and the pace of life was slow. We rented a small cabin by a serene lake, surrounded by towering trees and the gentle sounds of nature. It was a chance to step away from the chaos and reconnect with each other and ourselves. The days were filled with simple pleasures, morning walks along the water's edge, cooking meals together in the cozy kitchen, and evenings spent sharing stories by the fire. We laughed more than we had in years, and the children's joyful voices echoed through the cabin, filling it with warmth and life. During one quiet moment, Clara and I sat on the porch, watching the sun dip below the horizon. She turned to me, her eyes reflecting the fading light. "I never imagined we could find this peace," she said softly. "Thank you for giving me a chance." I smiled, feeling a deep sense of forgiveness and understanding. "We're all healing, Clara. Together." Back home, the perfume company continued to thrive. Inspired by our journey, I created a new fragrance that captured the essence of hope and resilience. The scent was a blend of fresh blossoms and warm spices, a reminder that even after the darkest storms, new life can bloom. The community embraced the new collection, and I found joy in knowing that my story could inspire others to find their own strength and courage. My advocacy work also expanded. I partnered with local organizations to provide support and resources for families facing betrayal and estrangement. Together, we created safe spaces for healing and growth. One day, I received a heartfelt letter from a woman named Amina. She shared how my story had given her the courage to reach out to her estranged sister and begin the process of reconciliation. Her words moved me deeply, reminding me that our stories have the power to heal not only ourselves, but others as well. As the years passed, our family continued to grow and evolve. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays with gratitude and joy. The laughter that once seemed distant now filled our home, a testament to the power of forgiveness and love. Yet, I knew that healing was an ongoing journey. There would be moments of doubt and pain, but with each challenge, we grew stronger and more united. I often reflected on the voice message that had changed everything. It was no longer a symbol of fear, but a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, light can be found. Looking forward, I felt a profound sense of peace. Life would continue to bring challenges, but I was ready. Ready to face whatever came with courage, grace, and an open heart. Because I had learned that love, when rooted in honesty and respect, can heal even the deepest wounds. And with that love, we can build a future brighter than any past. The night after the doctor's chilling warning, I lay awake, my mind racing with questions and fears. The shadows in my room seemed to grow longer, twisting into shapes of doubt and dread. Who was watching me? What danger lurked just beyond the walls of my home? And most terrifying of all, why? I thought about the life I had built, the family I loved, and the secrets that might tear it all apart. The doctor's words echoed in my mind, a haunting refrain. Don't go home. Escape now. But where could I go? Who could I trust? The next morning, I made a decision. I couldn't live in fear. I had to fight back. I reached out to Rachel, the private investigator, and asked her to dig deeper. I needed answers, and I needed them fast. Rachel's investigation uncovered a tangled web of deceit. People I had trusted were not who they seemed. There were whispers of betrayal, hidden agendas, and dangerous alliances. The man I thought was my brother-in-law was at the center of it all, orchestrating a plan that threatened to destroy everything. I felt a surge of anger and determination. I was no longer a victim. I was a warrior. With Rachel's help, I gathered evidence, documents, recordings, and testimonies that exposed the truth. The police took notice, increasing security around my home and advising me on how to stay safe. But the fight was far from over. One evening, as I returned home, I noticed a shadow lurking near my front door. My heart raced as I hurried inside, locking every door and window. The danger was real, but so was my resolve. I wasn't alone. Within one. The support of friends, family, and Rachel's relentless pursuit of justice, I faced the darkness head on. The truth, when it finally came to light, was more shocking than I could have imagined. But it was also liberating, because sometimes the greatest battles we face are not against others, but against the secrets that threaten to consume us. And sometimes the greatest strength comes from the courage to escape, to fight, and to survive. The days following the revelation were a whirlwind of emotions and urgent decisions. The weight of the truth pressed heavily on my shoulders, but I knew I could no longer live in fear or silence. The man I had trusted, my brother-in-law, was not only betraying me, but threatening everything I held dear. With Rachel's help, I began to prepare for the fight ahead. We gathered every piece of evidence, documents, recordings, witness statements, and presented them to the authorities. The police took the case seriously, launching a full investigation into the conspiracy that had nearly destroyed my life. Max and Clara stood by me unwaveringly. Their support was a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. Together, we faced the mounting challenges, knowing that the road to justice would be long and difficult. The community rallied around us, offering support and encouragement. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers reached out, sharing their own stories of betrayal and resilience. It was a reminder that I was not alone, and that together we could overcome even the greatest of obstacles. As the investigation progressed, tensions within the family escalated. My brother-in-law's desperation grew, and his attempts to silence me became more brazen. But I refused to back down. I was fighting not just for myself, but for the truth, for justice, and for the future of my family. One night, as I sat alone in my home, the phone rang. It was Rachel. "They're planning something," she warned. "You need to be careful." I tightened my grip on the phone, my heart pounding. The danger was real, but so was my determination. The following days were a blur of caution and courage. I changed my routines, avoided certain places, and kept my loved ones close. Every moment was a battle, but I was ready. The trial was set, and the courtroom became the stage for a battle between truth and deception. The evidence was overwhelming, and the testimonies powerful. My brother-in-law's lies unraveled under scrutiny, and the weight of his guilt became undeniable. When the verdict was finally read, a wave of relief washed over me. Justice had been served, and the darkness that had threatened to consume us was pushed back. In the aftermath, I found peace, not just in the legal victory, but in the healing of my family. We rebuilt our lives on a foundation of honesty, love, and resilience. The perfume company flourished, becoming a symbol of hope and renewal. My advocacy work expanded, touching the lives of many who had faced similar struggles. Looking back, I realized that the journey had changed me. I had learned the power of courage, the strength of forgiveness, and the importance of self-love. And as I looked toward the future, I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, I was ready to face them with an open heart and unwavering spirit. Because sometimes the greatest battles lead to the most profound victories, and sometimes the darkest nights give way to the brightest dawns.